Welcome to Wednesday Web Chat. This is Carl Lewis, your host from Vision 33, and our guest today will be Charles Robinson from FocusPoint.
Yeah, and thank you, Carl. It's great to be here. We're going to take this opportunity to do some quick overviews of FocusPoint, show some of the latest and greatest, talk about our Saltbox integration and things like that. So we'll get moving here, and we'll start with kind of a customer showcase, a Vision customer here. So they're a Fluorine company, and the idea here is to understand how some of the workflows and capabilities and how we've incorporated Saltbox into the solution, can work for other customers. So right on the main page here, we have a B2B landing page. Automatically, FocusPoint is picking up who is logged in and which business partner they are. So with that kind of filtering and security, we can target specific PDFs, things like banners, different kind of marketing specials. So somebody different logged in would see a completely different experience potentially. So in this case here, we'll start with an actual catalog style way of ordering. There are many ways to order off of FocusPoint. Just because it's B2B doesn't mean it has to be boring. So we have created a full Amazon-like experience. So I can move through my product lines and into my collections in this case. And there's a tremendous amount of power that's exposed here. So things like whitelisted labels. So right here, this bistro, the canvas, depending on who's logged in, which customer, they could be seeing a completely different set of product. It can be bound by geography. So if you have something, in Canada versus the US, all those kind of segmentations are all very simple to do. 100% sourced out of SAP Business One as well. So everything that you're looking at, the entire product catalog, everything is controlled out of the item master or the business partner master or one of our user-defined objects in SAP. So there's no management required inside the back end of FocusPoint, with the exception of some marketing collateral or pure CMS content. So just moving into this particular Fluorine product, it's very clear here we can order into multiple units of measure. We can get into quoting and different key workflows that exist in a B2B scenario. So we have multiple ways to kind of handle this. I can order, in this case, it's a Fluorine example. I can order by the carton in conjunction with the square feet, but we have many ways to handle these kind of calculators and converters. So if we just want to have it available by carton and automatically round up the square feet, we could go ahead and do that. Bumping over here into like a price list section, oftentimes business partners just want to know what their prices are and be able to order directly off an order sheet like this. Again, FocusPoint provides at least 5 or 6 different ways to make purchases. So at any given moment, including all the ways that SAP can price, these kind of things will be available. Okay, so moving back here, I'm going to just flip out into the account section here and going to pop into the order pad. So if I don't want to say order through the regular kind of Amazon-like category navigation, I can import an Excel spreadsheet. I can accept orders from a third-party system via our REST API, or I can use a barcode scanner or directly enter in SKUs, all right, just like this. So again, we're trying to create as many possible ways to place orders and make it easy. We also have a full rep model that we can have to have sales rep log in, see their customers, the ones that they're going to get commission on, and place orders on the customer's behalf. So just before I move on to say another example of some functionality in FocusPoint, all of this now is powered out of Saltbox. So over in our Saltbox integration platform, we have all different business scenarios that are created here, and it does all the communication between FocusPoint and the SAP Business One platform, the ERP. So the good news is this is all white glove service. So we're just disclosing here that we're now fully integrated with Saltbox, and how these implementations are now working. They're now going to be much faster because we have all our workflows, which is how Saltbox works. It sets up with these connectors, and then we do data mappings, and we put all our business rules in here. So we've built all this out. This is just a demo example here. These have all been built out. And now it's just a matter of when we have a new customer on, we effectively kind of copy all of our workflows to the new tenant. And the integration is neatly done before the project even starts. So we have all these workflow designs built out. And the customer can rely on us to do this, or they can get their hands dirty in Saltbox if they want to do other types of integration to other third-party systems. So if they want to connect, say, to HubSpot or something like that, Saltbox offers those integrations as well. So they can just pop in and they can do that. So, we're very, very excited about the Saltbox implementation. It's going to be great for the user community, great for us. It's going to really accelerate time to market. And it's a very, very powerful platform, and we're happy to now be using it. So everything that I'm showing here as I go through these examples, even like pulling the price list, all these kind of things, everything is running through Saltbox at this point. So continuing on here, I'm going to now pop over just to RAM as another example, just to show another type of way to order, because again, everything is about how to place an order, how quickly can I do an order. So if I pop into my order catalog here, we have the concept of orderless order sheets, and it's built out and powered by a Google style type search. So inside here, I can type in any SKU, any partial name of a SKU, those kind of things, and then I can filter my order pad list. And it's a simple matter of just go ahead and plugging in numbers as I move down through this list. Okay, and it's up to the customer how much information they want to show about the stock. In this case of RAM, they're just going to show, in stock versus how many are in stock. Maybe something has to be ordered in multiple of one, these kind of things. So how this works is the user-defined object that we bolt onto the item master is all mapped out of Saltbox and is placed inside FocusPoint, and it enforces all these additional rules. So if we say this has to be ordered in multiples of 50, it'll automatically be enforced just that way. So it's just another kind of very handy way to kind of do that. And of course, we're going to talk about the customer portal itself. So basically the entire footprint of what is inside SAP from a given user's experience. So it's going to do a real-time fetch, as it just did from SAP, based on this date range. So here I can see everything that is inside between, in this case here, it's a test user between April 2nd and July 1st. So here I can see that, I get the address, I have the order lines, everything can be reordered, very fast reordering. We have the invoices all set up. We now have the ability also to pay multiple invoices at the same time as well. That's a conditional option, just has to be turned on. But all the documents that are generated out of SAP are sitting here ready for download. So if those receipts have been emailed out, somebody lost them, or they just want to check on it, they can come into their portal, all self-serve, and go ahead and download. Invoice lines, same idea here. They can see all the invoice lines if they want to get information, and everything at the top here is searchable. Deliveries, if they want to look back and see what their previous deliveries were, it's easily available here. And just like just like in those other kind of good B2C experiences, even though this is B2B, you're going to get tracking number notifications to the email, and all the kind of good workflows that you would expect out of an enterprise system. And of course, we got quotes, returns, and credit notes as well. So the order portal is really, really highly configurable. You can drag and drop, which will save when you come back. It's almost like a favorites type thing. It'll respect consolidated business partners. So if you have a hierarchy set up, all that is possible to view. Now, very, very cool feature we're going to go over next. It's relatively new, but very popular. It's something that we built out in conjunction with our Saltbox implementation. That's around our contact management. So within the contact management, if you think like you host your SAP environment with Vision, right? And you have all these customers, all these business partners that are logging into using your system, but it's cumbersome to track and maintain the contacts of those business partners. You really don't know who should have access to FocusPoint to be able to place orders, see invoices, and those kind of things. So we have full bidirectional capability around the contacts and business partners. So I can now set direct permissions for the contacts. So the customer can log in and they can say, this person may or may not be in the SAP environment, but this is my accounting person, this is this. And then they can add as many permissions as they want. So in this case here, this customer added 3, but it could be easily 50. So can pay on invoices, can view history, can reorder. All those kind of things now are selectable permissions, and they'll be enforced throughout the system. And it'll actually write new contacts that don't exist into the SAP through one of our workflows with Saltbox. So you basically have shifted that work and that validation of when your customer hires somebody new and they want to be able to make purchases and buy and those kind of things, you've now placed the ownership on them to create their own contacts in your SAP environment, and they can set the permissions. So again, it's all around making things very easy, very convenient for your customer. So we'll talk a little bit now about just some areas around inventory control. We've done a few other kind of very cool things we'd like to highlight today. Again, enhancing this B2B experience, making things very seamless. And that means, using that data in SAP Business One to more of the buyer's advantage, which helps your customers. So here we can see that in this case, in the case of Stop here, they do they're talking about their warehouses explicitly with the amount of quantity. In comparison to RAM, who just said, look, we got in stock. And sometimes you don't want to say anything with the stock. It's all around those business rules. This is a configurable platform. So it's choices that you make during implementation. On the first day, the integration is done. Saltbox tenant is hooked up, talks to FocusPoint, data is immediately exchanged, that's done. And then everything comes around customer engagement. What workflows do we want to turn on? What experiences should be had here? So one of the interesting things is our automatic category population. So we have this navigation up here, and every tenant comes, of course, with the order pads and those kind of things, but you want to start selling and upselling to your current business partners. So you might have these banners saying, if you're a business partner that generally does above $100,000 a year, you're seeing this. Under, you're seeing something else. Maybe there's more incentive programs. But we have these categories. And just as an example, they can be arbitrary, coming soon, new, clearance, on sale. What is interesting here is all the products get assigned to categories automatically based on a criteria. That criteria can be anything. It can be a state of an item card in SAP or the state of a business partner. It can be a user-defined field on the item master, or it can be something as simple as, in this case, sale. It has a period or volume discount. So automatically, these products are being put into the on sale category because they have a period discount. So here I can see that the sale ends on 6/23/22, and there's one stock here in Richmond. I can see my old price and my new sale price. So while these products exist throughout the catalog, they're located here just for easy convenience. The other thing that is important to note here is everything going down on the left-hand side. So in the item master, we have all this data, and we turn this data into formatted searches in SAP. And once they're a formatted search, like an attribute or a specification, they become faceted search on the site. So just like an Amazon experience here, where you're starting to search and then you get your filtering on the left, we have duplicated and in many ways improved on some of that experience. So if I want to say, all right, just show me everything that's got the association of the color brown. So it'll automatically go ahead and filter down to just the products that are already in context that are brown. And this can get very elaborate. And the good thing is you don't really have to do anything to manage it. It's looking at the item master. You know, Saltbox is sending over all this information about the item. And, FocusPoint is doing all the lipstick, and it's just creating all these faceted searches for the left-hand side here, right? So it makes filtering even easier. So this is one of those kind of key enhancements that we've made. And every enhancement, by the way, around FocusPoint is all around increased usability or increase in customer engagement, making things easier, right? So that's really our goal when it comes to delivering a strong customer experience. You know, we're always enhancing that customer portal. We're always enhancing the B2B experience. And of course, we have lots of B2C sites. We have a lot of customers that tend to do both. You know, they're selling to their wholesalers, distributors, but they're also catering to new markets, to attract new business. So as an example, here's Keyboon Living. This is a pure B2C site running on FocusPoint. They're doing different kinds of incentives, for example, 20% off all the lighting. Again, all integration is now done through Saltbox here. And it's showcasing, when I'm showing this is, FocusPoint can really promote a brand. So if I look at this Keyboon Living here and I scroll down through, it's a very different experience than your typical B2B. You're creating an atmosphere, you're creating a mood for the buyer. In this case here, it's a whole brand around light bulbs. And it gives you a chance to say, because FocusPoint basically can do everything, something like Shopify Plus or Magento Enterprise can do. There's no functional gaps. But when we always focus on B2B, we tend to forget about some of those kind of key social elements that are in B2C. And that's why we just want to take a moment to showcase these today. So as I move into, say, a kitchen, for example, we can see all the faceted searches happening. So just like we saw on the electronic site, it's the same kind of thing for light bulb. And if I jump into a light bulb here, I can see the different type of collateral that is available here. So, all of this is going to be sourced out of the item master and some additional fields that we provide, right? So these are all searchable too. So we're presenting them in a nice kind of way automatically. It's all template driven. But it really gives a nice experience and kind of says, on this page, we're just talking about this one product. We want to tell you everything about it, multiple pictures, very kind of atmospheric type pictures to kind of let them draw in. And again, there's multiple ways that we support doing full retail B2C sites. They can move into SAP into one kind of retail business partner. It can go into a set of different business partners depending on geography. We don't connecting or creating contacts is optional. You don't want to flood your SAP with all these one-time accounts. You can just keep that one business partner and just have all the sales orders. Just keep the sales orders. We'll put all the addressing on the logistics tab, and keep it light in SAP. But you have options, so you can create full accounts for them, and then run your remarketing campaigns and those kind of things. So just wanted to show that there really is a long stretch of functionality. It's hard to even discuss even in a half an hour time here. In contrast, when I look at a product on Keyboon, I come back to Staub, here we've got it all done kind of under tabs. As you can see, one platform, many ways to create the customer engagement. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk quickly about today, Carl. We can see if there's any questions, but that's what I really wanted to kind of highlight today.
Well, that's great, Charles. I do have a question or two. I mean, you guys really focus on B2B, and so you're kind of known by that, but you can also do B2C stuff, right?
That's it. And this Keyboon Living, this is all B2C. There are no B2B elements in this site at all. Right. So oftentimes people will start with B2B and then they'll branch out another URL and they'll have like a default price list and do retail or guest. But in the case of Keyboon, it's just B2C only.
Mm-hmm. So a company could have a B2B site and a B2C site, both of them integrated through the new Saltbox platform. They just have different workflows for each company, I take it.
That's exactly right. And we've created those workflows in Saltbox. So, we've created a library, a bank of workflows. So we're very prepared for any type of business model. It doesn't matter the vertical, it could be retail, apparel, food, any vertical we're now ready for in our Saltbox environment.
Outstanding. And what about, you guys are doing business, internationally, so you can have, different languages and things like that available for other countries?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, all languages that SAP support and their currencies. So we'll do, we have sites in Arabic, for example, that move from left to right versus right to left in Arabic. So they'll go in reverse and concurrent currencies. So effectively, if SAP supports it, we support it in FocusPoint.
There's a couple of things about your organization that are, unique, I guess, but important to know. You guys are dedicated at this point in time to SAP Business One, correct?
That is correct.
And I knew the number a few months ago, but how many Business One integrations have you guys done now?
We have done almost 300 integrations into SAP Business One added up. We have more customers than that, but that's how many B1 integrations we have done.
Right.
That number continues to grow.
And that's a big number. And I think it's important to, our customers as they make a selection, because it's somebody with experience. In fact, you guys actually have like a Business One specialist on staff. You're not just sort of relying on the customer or the partner to be the Business One experts. You guys know the application exceptionally well yourselves.
Yeah, that's right. We have a dedicated project team. We understand that, customers know SAP Business One really well and how to use it and how to run their business, but they don't necessarily know how can I move my business into a B2B portal and create a good customer engagement. So that's really one of the specialties that we have is like, we know how to get sites online and make them effective. And yes, we do have SAP experts, integration experts, and commerce experts, kind of all three. And we lead these initiatives through rapid deployment projects. So they're very organized, very prescribed. It's like going down through a recipe. It's down to a science.
Yeah, well, it's a big value add, because I think that's one of the disconnects that happens when you deal with, other implementers sometimes, is they don't really understand, what you're talking about how the ERP application works. And so building workflows that emulate that and are compatible with that are really important. That knowledge is huge. Also, you mentioned that, Saltbox was making it possible so that implementations were shorter now than they used to be, faster. Can you give us kind of a frame of reference for like what it used to take and what you think it's going to take going forward with the Saltbox platform?
Yeah, so it used to take, so we used to use, and we still have those B1IF and service layer combinations. But Saltbox is like an application framework that basically automates workflow. So not only can we stage our data mapping between SAP Business One and FocusPoint, we can now take shortcuts around the various workflows. So for example, if I'm creating a sales order that is paid, and I need to create the AR down payment invoice and the payment associated to that, I can make it all easily happen with repeatable Saltbox workflows, where before I'd have to do the different scenarios. So, average implementation, can be, 12 weeks, but with Saltbox, we've been able to cut this down to closer to 8 weeks because we have a lot more automation. I mean, even in our current stack, we have a tremendous amount of business scenarios already pre-built. But when we go to implement, we're implementing, we put the core in the integration, and then we map the workflows. But now we can almost collect those workflows in the library with Saltbox, and we just make the minor tweaks now. So we're able to cut off several weeks of implementation and truly get to that 2-month sweet spot mark of an implementation of a B2B site.
That's really remarkable to be able to do that. And of course, so we always talk about, these workflows, being in Saltbox, we have them pre-created and stuff, but that's not really preventing customers from being creative and, doing something that's not quite out of the box. They actually have probably even more flexibility, wouldn't you say?
They do, because if you have, they support, full queries through service layer or the DI API. So if you have queries that you've already built, you can directly connect to those with Saltbox. So with a bit of guidance, a bit of a technical know-how, sky really is the limit. So you can create. It's almost helping the SAP Business One from a risk model. With Saltbox, the ability to integrate more things faster, just makes it, just creates more value for SAP Business One against any other ERP, right? It's like an integration tool in your back pocket that if one day you need to integrate it to, Salesforce, or I need to integrate to Dynamics here, whatever it may be, you have these connectors that you can quickly adapt. And it's extremely powerful, and it's continuing to get more and more powerful.
That's good. One last topic I'd like to talk to you about a little bit is, customers that I've spoken to before, they get concerned about sort of expanding their system and connecting things to it, because then their upgrade processes become, difficult. How do you anticipate that, the Saltbox platform will help you with actual upgrade projects?
Well, it's going to make things even easier. So right now, it's generally around, a 2-hour kind of window. So when someone say moves from 9.2, 9.3 up to 10, we got this basically down to a 2-hour event for us right now for a non-Saltbox environment. But now with Saltbox, it's even more abstracted, right? So we just have to make one minor adjustment around a connection, depending on if it's a parallel upgrade or an in-place upgrade when someone say goes to 10. But now it's even easier. It's literally down to less than an hour. So
wow.
Saltbox just makes it even easier, because the business scenarios are all abstracted away from SAP Business One, right? So it's like a self-contained bubble where all this stuff exists, all this functionality. And all we have to do is just update the endpoints. So it's even faster than it was before. I mean, 2 hours seemed very quick, but now it's even easier. So again, it's all around eliminating risk of an upgrade. Up to this point, nobody had to worry about, oh, well, I'm doing an SAP upgrade. How will my e-commerce be impacted? And with FocusPoint, the answer was, it's not. We always follow the SAP business roadmap. And now it's even easier for us at FocusPoint, because it takes even less effort to go ahead and do an upgrade now. And again, it fully supports SQL or HANA, so it doesn't matter which flavor either.
Excellent. Well, Charles, thanks so much for being with us today. This has been great information and a really good update from you guys. We haven't talked for a while, so appreciate that. And I'm sure that some of our customers, who are really considering B2B and especially, and will also want a B2C type of situation, will be looking and wanting to talk to you. How can they get a hold of you guys the best way?
FocusPointSAP.com is the fastest way, or actually just contact your Vision 33 rep. Those are the fastest ways.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And for everyone else, we'll see you again on another episode of Wednesday Web Chat.